Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Warhammer 40K video. Today, we'll be taking a look at the purpose of the 8th. If you enjoy these videos, please do hit that like button. The Legiones Astartes, greatest of the Imperium's fighting forces, unifying holy Terra and expanding the borders of the Imperium during the Great Crusade. Millions of battles across thousands of planets and the void of space. The Astartes Legions have truly been forged through the fires of war, while some of the legions developed a particular method of waging war over the course of their many campaigns. Some legions were built for a specific purpose, and one of the most controversial legions was the 8th Legion of the Legiones Astartes, otherwise known to the current Imperium as the Night Lords, sometimes referred to as the Terra Legion. The Night Lords served a punitive role during the Great Crusade, originally recruited from criminals condemned to spend the rest of their days within the underground prison cells of Terra. Specializing in psychological operations, the 8th Legion quickly developed a reputation for notably brutal and sadistic methods, preferring to operate in the dark of the night. The Astartes of the 8th Legion bore a terrifying appearance, bearing pale skin, described as almost alabaster white, and in some cases jet black eyes. Often striking with overwhelming force, the 8th did not simply smash their opposition as the other legions did, but they would leave a clear path of brutality and slaughter to demonstrate the extent of their willingness for savagery. The Emperor, he understood that a common goal would not be enough to truly unite humanity. And knowing that it was inevitable that elements of humanity would revert to more defiant and selfish tendencies, the Emperor knew that in some instances a harsh example would be needed, and would need to be spoken in the language of fear. Such was the savagery of this punitive legion, that often after witnessing a single assault and the aftermath of the 8th, entire populations would surrender, and they would submit to the Emperor's rule. As harsh as this method might be, it was but the beginning compared to the time after the 8th Legion reunited with its Primarch, Konrad Curze, upon the world of Nostromo, a world orbiting a dying star and engulfed by the pollution of the world's industry, covering the world in perpetual darkness. As a child, Curze grew up on the streets of the world's hive cities, crime-ridden and gang-infested. Murders, thefts and rapes were commonplace on the world's streets. Quickly learning of his superior abilities, Curze would quickly dispatch all who threatened him, and as the young Primarch grew in size and age, a twisted form of logic developed in the young Curze. Targeting criminals and gangs, a wave of slaughter soon swept the streets, finding the mutilated corpses and gang members and things on the streets, some disemboweled, some torn to shreds, and even some flayed with their skin nailed to walls. Crime quickly faded, as more and more criminal elements of Nostromo got word of this savagery and the horror that might soon come for them. And as the Great Crusade stretched across the stars, the Crusade eventually came to the world of Nostromo, reuniting Konrad with his father and being given command of the legion intended for him, the 8th Legion. Renaming the 8th Legion as the Night Lords, upon taking control of his new legion, a notable change was a marked increase in the severity of the 8th's methods, slaughtering entire populations to the last man, woman and child, torturing a prisoner and broadcasting it to the target population, and in one notable instance, flying over an enemy city and showering the area with the corpses of slain prisoners. Unsurprisingly, the brutality of the Eighth brought some to question their methods and their necessity. Surely, such behaviour belonged in the annals on ancient Terra. Humanity had advanced past the barbarism of its past. Would not the disparate portions of humanity could be swayed by reason, and loyalty be gained by demonstrating the glory of the Emperor and the Imperium? Even if a people would choose to reject the Emperor's rule, is a simple military response, a reconquest, not enough? Would a demonstration for the willingness for brutality be necessary? Then again, I look to the stories of the past, to the times before the unification of Terra, before the Imperium. The Emperor himself, beloved by all, had seen for himself the extent of human nature. He had seen the different sides of humanity. He had led the legions. He had led the legions against the many techno-barbarian states to unify Terra. What horrors had he seen? Perhaps there would be those of humanity that would not simply see reason. Perhaps there were, as uncomfortable as the truth might be, those who only understood savagery and would respect only savagery. The Emperor has seen, the Emperor has experienced, and the Emperor knows. Perhaps I should trust more in the Emperor's judgment. As distasteful as it might be, perhaps I should trust in the effectiveness and in the purpose of the Eighth. An argument can most definitely be made for barbarism against barbarism. Savagery begets savagery, and those that will not submit, those that would not be enlightened, those that must succumb under the heel and toe of the Emperor and the Imperium of man. And that heel and toe is the boot of the Astartes of the 8th Legion, the Night Lords.